643, this is 1320 WILS. It's all Donald Trump. I mean, if you are turning on the television set or listening to the radio, it is Donald Trump 24/7, and how could it not be? He is fascinating, at least to me. I really I can't get enough. Debbie Georgatos, political strategist at ladiescanwetalk.org is the website, also author of the book, Ladies Can We Talk? America Needs Our Vote. Debbie, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Mike.
And you have your own radio show, right?
I do. It's also called Ladies Can We Talk?
Where are you based out of yourself?
In North Texas, in Dallas area. And actually, if I may quick tell your listeners, my website's under major surgery. It's my Facebook that's the most active right now, which is also Ladies Can We Talk?
Find her on Facebook. That's at Facebook, Ladies Can We Talk? So, well, I'm curious, because you're in Texas. Rick Perry, your former governor, he called Donald Trump's politics, quote, toxic, and said that his candidacy is a cancer on conservatism. What do you think of those comments?
I'm actually kind of sorry to hear those and others that are being issued by the Republican candidates for president, because they're just really buying into the media invitation for Republicans to bash each other. And I think the candidates have handled that really well. Rick Perry did make the comments you just mentioned, but Ted Cruz has said from the outset, I won't criticize other candidates. And when he's asked about Mr. Trump's comments, he'll say, I won't comment on Mr. Trump's candidacy, but my view on immigration is X. And so whatever the issue is, he goes what he thinks. I think that'd be much smarter. And I just think I'm sorry to hear candidates playing to the media's desire to hear the Republicans criticize each other.
Well, and Donald Trump certainly doesn't hesitate. You know, he calls these guys stupid and all kinds of crazy things. And it seems that comment on John McCain, where there was a question whether it was a war hero. It seems like he's even going to roll right past that. Well, what do you make of his ability to just kind of keep going?
I think the reason that Donald Trump is drawing so much attention from the Republican kind of conservative base is because he exhibits fearlessness. I think there are a lot of voters who just are starved for bold leadership. They want to hear someone saying strong things. They would not particularly like what he said about Senator John McCain. I don't like what he said. I think you can't ever take away someone's war experience. But Senator McCain is among those in Washington who have been there a very long time. And for the conservative kind of Tea Party or more conservative Republican votes, that seems one of the major problems in the country. It's just this elite ruling class insider on both sides of the aisle, but on the GOP side, they don't seem to listen to their voters anymore.
Yeah, so let's listen to some of what Donald Trump said today. He held a press conference. He's down there at Laredo, Texas. He went down to look at the border. And, well, here's some of what he discussed.
The reason they invited me was because of the tremendous problem and the tremendous crime and all of the things that you're talking about. So they invited me, and then at the last moment, I mean, we were virtually in the air, and they said, we can't get involved. And I heard they got those orders from Washington.
He was basically, I think he was invited by the union for the border guards there. And what do you think of the fact that somebody in D.C. would have called and told him to kill the invitation?
It's unsurprising. It is the AFL-CIO, I'm pretty sure, is the overarching organization for the Border Patrol. But the Border Patrol agent who issued the invitation was kind of sorry to have it taken away. I mean, I think the AFL-CIO just doesn't want to be associated, or any union, major union, doesn't really think it helps them to be associated with a Republican candidate. They're probably in Hillary's camp. But I think that the border, people wanting him there, because what he's saying is resonating with a lot of people, especially who live near the border. They know that there are serious problems. They want to hear the candidates acknowledge that.
Yeah. Just to go off on a tangent, I know he's got some beef with Rupert Murdoch, too. Do you think that's going to cause him trouble if he's got MSNBC after him and then Fox News isn't really that interested in his candidacy?
You know, I see he continues to make enemies. Right now he is able, and perhaps the whole campaign cycle, he's able to fund himself, and he gets lots of attention for the things he says. So I think these efforts by the media and other big organizations to distance themselves, it doesn't seem to really hurt him. I just think that, he's tapped into some voter anger that's not, I know it can sound, because he sounds extreme, the voter anger can sound extreme, but I don't think it is. I think it's a lot of voter I want to hear, in Ronald Reagan's terms, bold colors, clear thinking, strong ideas. They don't want to hear what happens so often with many Republicans. They just out of the starting box, the moment the media pushes back on something, or the media says, "Hey, you don't support amnesty. What's wrong with you? Don't you tolerate different?" And our side, our guys, the GOP, the conservative guys, back off and say, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean that."
So
They're too timid.
Right. No, it's a whole different tone. Here's some more of Donald Trump today on the border in Texas.
I'm a Republican. I'm a conservative. I'm running. I'm in first place by a lot, it seems, according to all the polls. I want to run as a Republican. I think I'll get the nomination. We'll see soon enough, but I think I'll get the nomination. The best way to win is for me to get the nomination and run probably against Hillary.
I know if the GOP doesn't warm up to him at some point, could they endanger their own candidate if it's not him, if they kind of push him to run as a third party candidate?
I am very concerned about that because Donald Trump has made noise about that that's a possibility he would consider. And I think that'd be disastrous for the GOP. I also saw something just a little while ago about the GOP trying to angle to prevent him from being on the stage at the upcoming the first presidential debate, trying to somehow push Trump out of it. I think that will backfire. And again, back to the way the other candidates speak about him. The candidates like John Kasich had a similar statement today as Ted Cruz did. Instead of saying, he's and Trump is awful, he's terrible, and denouncing him, they just say what they think. And even John Kasich, his comment today was something like, or yesterday, was something like, I don't have time to comment on what other people are doing. I'm telling you why I'm running. That's the kind of, I love that. That is because, yes, Donald Trump could hurt the GOP. He could.
He could if he actually ran as a candidate against them. Let's hear a little more of Donald Trump. Here he goes on Today in Texas.
And the reason I won with the Hispanic vote, and I win all over with the Hispanic vote, because they know I'll take jobs back from China, I'll take jobs back from Japan and every other country that's killing us. I'll bring the jobs back, and the Hispanics are going to get those jobs, and they're going to love Trump, and they already do.
They already do. With all the comments he's making about illegal immigrants, is he right? Can he still get the Hispanic vote?
Well, I've often argued there is no one such thing as a Hispanic vote, which everyone knows. But I think that there are certainly the left-wing Hispanic groups who are just hysterical about the things he's saying, the LULAC types, and they will convince their voters not to go with him. But I think, as in every other race and ethnicity among Hispanics, you have hardworking Hispanics who have the right to be in America. They are Hispanic origin, but they're American citizens. They want jobs. They don't like trying to taking away their jobs. So, I think he could get votes of a lot of minorities here, but certainly not on the American left.
Are you as intrigued by Trump as so many Americans seem to be?
Honestly, I cannot get very excited about him because despite all this bold color thing that I think is attractive, he really, in many important issues, is not a conservative. And I really look for the substance of how people view issues. He is saying some strong things, but he's touted the Canadian healthcare system, which is basically socialized medicine, saying we should replicate that. He's arguing for tax increases. He made some comment about maybe even raising the minimum wage. And many important things, he's not a conservative. And this is what's most troubling about this, is this in this campaign cycle where we're really focused on the GOP candidates, he's taking a lot of oxygen out of the room for his candidacy. And when people tune in to the broad picture of what he is, they're going to back away. And then we're going to be scrambling again to try to establish a front runner.
Wow. Do you think he's going to make others in the GOP have to change their tone to be a little more real?
I do. I think it's already kind of happening. He's certainly on the problem of sanctuary cities and that horrible incident occurred in San Francisco and border security. All the candidates can kind of mouth off and say, oh, yeah, I'm in favor of border security. I want strong borders. But the way he presses it, he is going to force them to say yes or no in sanctuary cities, yes or no on more harsh criminal penalties for people who reenter after they've been deported due to a conviction. The things he says he wants, they're going to have to answer for that. I'm kind of glad about that.
Debbie Georgatos, political strategist. Find her on Facebook. On Facebook, Ladies Can We Talk on Facebook. Debbie, thank you.
Thank you for having me, Mike. Have a great day.